Here we go. It's Thursday. By the way, do we have you Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have you Friday?
Yeah, you got me Friday this week.
All right. All right.
Sadly for me.
We got
Sadly. Oh, that is excitement for us.
I
It
love
should
that.
be, but for me, it's a little more sad.
That's what the S in SEC stands for.
It just
What?
means more.
Sad.
Before we get into serious biz, I don't know if we'll have time for this later. Did you see the two dudes that were like, "Oh, we skipped work and said that we were sick" or something like that? Did you guys see that tweet?
No.
Actually, then you know what? We're going to save it for slap hands. We'll save it.
I don't know
You'll
what
like
you're
it.
talking about, Scott. I never skip work.
Yeah, two dudes.
I don't hang out with people that skip work.
Neither. Never miss school.
Didn't like Ferris Bueller, the movie.
Ferris Bueller was a good movie.
Yeah. Just didn't believe in what he stood
Actually,
for.
yeah. I mean, I didn't say that, but
He was
I just
skipping
didn't
school.
skip school. It was
Right.
like missing work. You don't miss work. I would be on my deathbed.
I felt like there was a huge difference between school and work. I like work. I don't like school. So they felt different to me.
It's your responsibility to be there. Get to school.
Not every day. Everyone
Every
gets
day.
off days.
Nope.
Mental health day.
Nope.
Anyway, let's charge the mound.
Charging the mound.
Another day, another controversy. If only we had catchers to break it all down. The New York Mets fall to the Chicago Cubs in what was a really great pitching matchup between Shōta Imanaga and Jose Butto. Butto, the surprise, both really a surprise, and Imanaga is just a stud right now. But we'll get to that. Let's start with the play. Pete Alonso out at home. Great little relay offering. Here it is, if you are watching right now instead of just listening later on the pod.
First of all, how slow is Pete Alonso? I mean, I love
Come
Pete,
on.
but holy cow, bro. And second of all, can we stop sliding headfirst into home plate?
Oh,
Please stop. And then third of all, I still thought he was safe from that angle right there, but I still thought he was safe even though they called him out. But I also don't understand the blocking of the plate rule. And can we just get rid of it? I know Buster Posey. We don't want to hurt little poor Buster. We don't want him to get hurt anymore. But can we just let him run over the damn catcher? Like what he should have done is blasted that dude into the freaking Mets dugout. Because I'm sorry, but like he was standing on top of the plate, and we saw Jonah Heimuster stand on top of the plate, and he got a violation. They said it wasn't a violation because there was a sliver of plate about this big. But if you're Pete Alonso and I look at that, I'm like, bye-bye, bro. Bye-bye. Night-night, termite.
And Pete's a strong
Pete's
dude.
a big old boy.
Yeah, he would
But sliding
bowl him.
head first, if he slides feet first, he's probably safe.
Remember, we got this question. I think Kratz, you were gone, but we got this question from a fan. Remember, we touched on it for a sec with Trevor. Remember, the fan was asking us about the Mets.
I heard you guys talking about it. Yep.
You did. So, does it make a difference if he doesn't go head first?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying he needs to go truck stick first.
No, feet first, trust me. You feet first, you spike a dude in the shin or in the thigh, he's going to move. But like, see where he's like, that to me is blocking the plate because you know he's going to go forward. Like to me, that means he's going forward from there. He's not going to stand there. Like you know he's going to go forward, and he went forward. Now these are all clearly this is kind of the older school versions of blocking the plate, right? Like we were taught to stand, the one on the far left, right, foot on the foul line. That was the way we were taught, right? And you were like, bring it on.
Yep.
Right.
Even
now.
No, go ahead.
Oh, and now they're taught like to stand way out in front. Or I remember Tyler Flowers used to stand behind the plate, kind of what the guy tried to do last night. But then you know he's going forward. You know as soon as he catches it, he's going to block the plate. So how is that legal? That's what I don't understand. I know they tried to eliminate all the contact at home plate. Like they want the swipe tag, but I mean, dude, let's just let guys get run over. That's the one thing that is my one rule I hate. That and nobody can run anyone, take anybody out at second base or like the rules that I'm like, I don't understand. I know, you're old school, get off your lawn. We don't want players hurt, but like, come on.
He could have run him over.
He should have.
He was in his way.
But
Isn't that legal?
nobody thinks of that anymore. They're like, oh no, we don't want to touch him. We might be out.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get it thrown out on two throws? I mean, if there's a cut, like when they run it in high school and they run like, cut four from left field. I'm like, just throw it to another base because you should not get out. If you have a guy throwing it in and you have to cut it to home running from third base, running from one base to the next. If you need a cut, most likely you're not getting them. Like, I don't know how he got out there. 2, what AJ's talking about, if he slides in foot first, best case scenario, he knocks his cleat out of the way and he slides right across the plate. Worst case scenario is you dive head first and a big old boy like Pete breaks one of these fingers and he's forever looking like Ray Didinger, or not Ray Didinger, whoever it is on the NFL network that his thumb's always like that. He used to be a quarterback, or anyway, he used to play football. But just run straight through him. There's nothing against the rules that says you are not allowed to run straight through home plate.
Yeah, agreed. Listen, I think this rule's dumb. And nobody knows the rule either. I remember, I think it was 2014 when they first enacted this rule. We were practicing in spring training. And we're like, we don't even know what to do. Where do we stand? What do we do? Because everything, we have the umpire come out and they're like, nope, that's illegal. And I'm like, I'm 3 foot in front of the plate and the throw took me over here. I'm not allowed to go get the ball. No, nope, that's illegal. And you're like, this rule's stupid. Stupid.
We tried everything. We even tried what you're talking about with Tyler Flowers. I mean, Sal Fasano, if you ever talk to Sal Fasano about like plays at the plate, he talks about, he's got like 6 different versions of plays at the plate. And then when they brought up all those rules, he's like, now I only got 5. Because he used to like drop 2 knees on guys. He used to do the swipe tag, spin move, out, all that stuff. But we tried like standing behind home plate and then just tagging down in front. To me, I think there's too much gray and they need to solidify. Like the time Jonah Heim stood on home plate, AJ, I don't remember seeing it. I remember it happened, but I don't remember the specifics. If his right foot is on home plate, is that different than last night? His left foot was on home plate. And yes, he gave a little sliver of home plate to slide into.
Yeah, but you know he's going forward.
Well,
you know when he catches it, he's going down. So there is no lane for Pete Alonso to slide into. Like if you're straddling the plate and you have the whole lane, you slide between my legs. That's a lane.
You can't.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like the pictures we showed earlier, like if you're straddling the plate, now the one on the left, there's a little lane. If you look, I mean, I don't know. It's just so mumbo jumbo. I don't know. It's just people are going to say, "Oh, you're old school and you're getting."
No, one guy goes,
which I'm totally not, because I'm all for bat flips and all that stuff. But I'm also for like, let's have some contact and run some son bitches over and see what happens.
Right. One guy was like, "Well, you can't throw at the batter, but you can lay him out." I'm like, these are 2 different conversations. These are all different conversations.
2 completely different conversations. Yeah. One is scoring a run for your team.
Sport, yeah, or a not contact sport. It's just that this part continuously becomes a problem when there's a big play, right? It's a continuous problem.
I love the fact that the control center or whatever, replay center, came out with a statement. And I didn't actually even hate the statement. Derek Thomas was the replay official. Like,
who?
I love that. Yes, who? I'm not sure who it is, but I'm sure we can look up a picture of Derek Thomas. They put it out there. It wasn't like cloak and dagger. We weren't sure who it was. It was the last game of the night. Did the replay center shut down? They came out with the information that they had and what they made to make the decision. I love that. So kudos to MLB for that.
True. That was nice. Wish we could have got that live instead of having to wait until after the game. But the best part of this whole thing, I mean, that's asking way too much. But the best part of this whole thing, you know what it was? I think it was Chad Fairchild, the home plate umpire, forgetting to turn off his mic. And Carlos Mendoza being like, "That's bullshit! You know it's bullshit!" And then blasting through the whole stadium. And then McCann's like, then SNY like muted it all of a sudden because then Chad's like, "Oh crap!" And then you see him reach for it. But I mean, Carlos Mendoza got too loud. "That's bullshit! You know it's bullshit!" It's in there.
All the parents there, like,
"Oh, earmuffs, kids."
Earmuffs on.
My favorite was the two guys who were very emotional, but they show they wear their emotions on their sleeve. McNeil was like in the dugout like this. He's just like, "Oh, all he's thinking is I didn't get that RBI. Now I'm 0 for 1 in that at bat." And then Pete is out here like this. He's like, "Dang on it. No, I'm safe." He's like, "I'm safe." He's watching the replay and he thinks he's safe.
The other thing that annoys me about this play and I know we're going on about this a little bit. I don't really care.
No,
It was
it's
a big
fine.
deal
It was
because
big.
it was
It was
1-0 game, and
Yeah.
But the home plate is flat, right? Every other base is about this far off the ground, 2 inches or so, 3 inches. It's about yay high off the ground. Home plate is flat, so when you slide, you can actually go over the plate, kind of like what they said. Pete's hand was up instead of on the ground, right? Whereas another base, you can be up, but you're still on. You don't. But so what should we have, like a 3D laser rendering of like when they cross the plate?
I have an idea.
I don't know because if it was up in the air, Pete touched it.
It's the only base you can run by, and you don't have to stay on it. Besides first base on a single.
I mean, it's the only base except for that other one. But
you could still run by it if it was a little bit elevated.
Yeah.
So here's what we do, okay? It's 2024, and I know a lot of things are difficult. I know we can't put a uniform together. But, lasers is
break
intense.
the laser beam.
What about this? Once the ball is put in play, there's just a little elevation from the ground. It goes, and it just goes like, how many inches?
It's like, and it blows up with air. It goes.
How many inches off the ground do we need? 4.5? Is that good?
4.5 is way too big, according to Todd.
Stop. You guys are on another planet right now. Stop it.
Or you know what? This is how I have 2 things to finish this game talk, okay? Number one, stop calling out Pete, okay? He is an old school lumberjack bopper, and he has 13% percentile on the sprint speed charts, okay? So there are slower people than him. 13 on the scale. 25.4.
You need to go back in your archives of your mind and remember the sac flies that you scored from. And if the left fielder was running to his right, having a plant, he is not getting you on that play, AJ.
Never with a cut in between. Never ever.
But he's
also
not a chance. He is not throwing you out.
No, and also check just for the record, check the Michael Barrett fight that everyone remembers. That was from the shallow left. And the ball hit me in the back. And listen, we were taught different though. We were taught run right at the guy. Like you would go right in line.
Pete tried to a little bit.
Yeah, I know, but it was tough because of where the throw. But if he slides, a little bit inside, it makes it a little bit tough. I don't know. Listen, the bottom line is the Mets lost. It sucks. They keep wearing those their Citi Connects. I think they're 0-3 in them. And
the gray home jerseys.
And by the way, Imanaga, he pitched awesome. So he deserves a ton of credit. Dealing. Hector Neris, he is the king of like getting out of stuff. Like it's like every time I watch him pitch for the Cubs, it's like first and third, no outs. Guy trips and falls. They turn a triple play like somehow, and he's like, "Yeah, look at me, I did it again." You're like, "How is this dude get out of all these situations?"
Eventually, it's not luck. He's just got it.
I know that's what I'm saying. He's unbelievable at it. I'm proud of him for that.
Yeah.
Well, he usually walks guys who don't swing at the splitter, and then he gets to the part of the lineup where the dudes are like, "No way, he's throwing me a 7th straight splitter in the dirt." Dang it!
Yeah.
Imanaga has an 0.78 ERA. And did you see his little line when they asked him about pitching in New York for the first time? Quote, "The view from the hotel, I recognize it from Spider-Man." So I was just like, oh, this is where Spider-Man was.
It's amazing.
Dude is a gem, and many GMs are kicking themselves right now.
Nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming.
You blew it. No, people did see this coming. We talked about this. We talked about this pitcher more than anyone else this offseason. The debate was intense. Some people said, I don't even think he'll make it as a starter. Other people said he might be a 1 or a 2.
Yep.
It's true.
I tell you what he does. He locates the shit out of the ball.
He does.
And changes S speed. So he does the whole Jamie Moyer, like a fastball in. Jamie Moyer never threw 93, but a fastball in is like technically like 97 compared to the changeup away. So like he uses those velocities, changes completely different. It plays up faster when, yes, it's spinning, but also the location of it compared to a changeup that's down and away. And he locates those pitches so well. It's unbelievable. And I actually think, and I'm going to look it up, so I won't even say it until I look it up.
That's fine. So while you do that, I would like to first off play a quick game, and it's called Who Are the Slowest People in MLB? Because you guys are calling out Pete. It's not his fault. I'm sure he sprints all off season long.
I was slow as shit too, so I get it.
He's 43rd slowest. There are a lot of people ahead of him. Can you give me
Alejandro Kirk. Actually, Martin
okay.
Maldonado.
Wait, hold on. There's a let's play the game. So how about from the top 10? Can you give me
Martin Maldonado
is number 1? He is the slowest player in Major League Baseball. And
somebody's got to be the slowest
for Kirk.
Who?
Somebody has to be the slowest.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's Maldi. Yeah. Kirk is number 5.
Kirk's got to be up there.
He's number 5 on the top 10.
JD Martinez.
Who did you say?
JD.
Although he doesn't have enough.
He's not on here yet, probably because of.
Are you talking about just this year?
I think it's this year. Yeah, just this year. Let me just double check. This is 2024 start. Yes, just 2024. So don't count JD.
Are you going on sprint speed?
Yes, sprint speed.
That was one of the things we were going to talk. I was going to talk about with Brandon Crawford because when we played together, now I was 39 when we played together, and the sprint speed that year for the first month, he was like whatever he was, like 26.7. I was 26.3, and everybody was giving him the hardest time ever. They're like, "You're a shortstop, and this dude that never plays is almost the same speed as you." But anyway, so it can be a little off for 1 month. Yeah,
we can. But Kratz, you should have been, a free safety or maybe a middle linebacker, strong safety, something like that. You can move.
Rowdy
is number 9 slowest.
Yeah, I knew it.
You want me to give you the rest?
Hold on, I'm going through
we'll
the teams right now. I'm looking. Naylor? No, Naylor's pretty quick for a big guy.
He's up there though. He's 16th slowest.
Okay.
So that was a good call.
Einer Diaz?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Diaz in the top.
Too many dingers to be slow.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you're in the right category.
I'm going to need the top 10.
Here.
Stallings, maybe? Kevin?
All right, so I'll give you the top 10. Maldi, you
Jacob
got.
Stallings, my little
Number
brother.
2 is Omar Narvaez. Number 3, Wilmer Flores.
Wow. Now that's one I wouldn't have gotten.
I would not have gotten that for 3. Jacob Stallings, 4. You got Kirk, 5. Tucker Barnhart, 6. Tristan Casas, 7.
I wouldn't have said Tucker Barnhart. He's decently athletic.
Not anymore. Elias Diaz, 8. Rowdy, 9. And Keibert Ruiz at 10.
Dude, it's all catchers and Rowdy.
And then it changes, though. 11's Rizzo. 12 is Yandy Diaz. Then Salvi and Trevino.
Oh, we forgot about Salvi. Salvi's not even bottom 10, bro.
It's actually just kind of fun.
I don't know if I was, how's it go, Kratz?
What are you talking about? I am not the slowest. You're not. Come on.
Yeah, so.
That's so funny.
Anyway, Fair Territory also covered this topic, so check it out. It just happened. If you were on the Foul Territory YouTube channel, please subscribe and also like this show. Thank you very much. But Mondays and Thursdays, Ken and Alana on Thursdays live at 12:30. Mondays gets released around lunchtime. So make sure you check out today's episode after you watch Dodgers Territory, which is after Foul Territory. I just got rid of the list. He probably doesn't have enough, didn't register enough. Berger, I see he's been hurt. So good call, but fun list. We'll check back.
I can't wait to have Rowdy on and be like, you're the 9th slowest player in the baseball. He's going to be so mad.
He's going to challenge you to
He's going to be like, well, I'm faster than you.
Oh my
God, take that bet, Rowdy.
That's exactly what he is going to
I would love to see it for charity.
He won't do it, though. He won't. He's scared. He's scared.
And then I'll just throw this in there because then we're going to talk to a pitcher coming up. But Walker Buehler's coming back on Monday. Kyle Bradish is starting today for the Yanks, getting some good boys back on the mound. I'm excited to see Buehler. Mm-hmm. I actually like what they did here. They super slow played it because if I'm the Dodgers and Buehler's right, I'm like, playoffs, please. Thank you very much.
And also, who's he pitching against?
The Marlins. You're saying bring him back for a nice soft landing?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying he's pitching against the Marlins.
I'll say it. He's rehabbing against the Marlins. Orioles are throwing Bradish right out there, right to the Wolves against the Yankees.
By the way, 2 things. One, the Cubs-Mets series has been great.
Yes.
Like, it's been awesome. But the Orioles-Yankees series has been awesome, too. Like, those games have been good, man.
Yes.
Really good games. Like, you could tell, like, the guys are into those
pumps. A lot of fist pumps in big situations. A lot of, like, just – they would be slower games if we didn't have the pitch clock. But I love it. They have been great games. And the stat I was trying to look up, Shōta Imanaga had more strikeouts per 9 last year in Japan than Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Just saying.
He was a strikeout artist. Yeah, people missed on him.
And by the way, also let's not forget the Astros Guardians series has been epic too. Extra innings every night, like unbelievable games. So there's been some awesome series.
How about that one? Yeah, they were
best
good.
week yet out of the first 4 or 5 in Major League Baseball. I would say this week's been the best week so far in Major League Baseball. Yeah, and also shout out from that game Clay Holmes. And now let's bring in our first guest of the day on FT Live, making his return. Now we talked to him virtually this time. Tarik Skubal from the Detroit Tigers joining us right now. Yeah, you had to back up for a sec. You're too tall, Tarik. You got to back up. Drop. You're too damn tall.
Oh, yeah. Plus, we want to see that lettuce you have working. It's perfect.
You're only 6'3". I feel like you're like 6'5". Has anyone ever lied in the reverse? You know how like Altuve, I think he's probably listed like 5'7" or 8, and it's like, dude, you're 5'5". But like, are you the opposite where you're listed 6'3", but you're kind of sneaky 6'4.5"?
I think I'm 6'3", all of 6'3". I don't know if it gets much bigger, but I think I'm 6'3". I don't know. I mean, I don't know the last time I've been like legit measured though, you know.
Dude,
but 6'3".
Listen, I sat next to you in spring training. I don't know what you're 6'3" or 6'4" or whatever the hell damn tall you are, but he's a freaking monster. I was like, how much do you weigh? Like really weigh? Like don't give me
255.
225 on my baseball card. No chance.
Yeah. 255 is like what I played at last year, and then that's kind of my weight right now. It'll vary, you know, depending on where we go or if we've been on the road at home, but I'm usually like right at 255, somewhere right there.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what you want for durability.
But I just love you. You know what my favorite part was? He goes, it varies if we were on the road. When he's eating good on the road, he's like, oh, we had team dinners, you know, and Javi Baez is buying team dinners, or I'm at home and I eat ramen noodles, you know.
Yeah. Yep. If you're on the road, I mean, you get out of the Midwest pizza. I mean, you guys, Midwest pizza is it the real deal? I mean, as a West Coast guy, and we got a Midwest guy here. You know, he's gonna.
I'm not a deep dish Chicago style guy. But Detroit style is actually really good. I mean, we're in New York right now, so I think this is kind of the pizza capital of the world. But Detroit style is probably the second best style of pizza, in my opinion.
Tell people what that is. Tell people what Detroit style is, because I'll tell you, people don't know what Detroit style is.
It's not like deep dish is like, it feels almost like lasagna type, you know, where it's like, you use a fork and a knife. It's not even like that. Like Detroit style is like a little bit thicker crust, and then I think they go cheese and then sauce on top, kind of. But it's good. It's really good. Served in squares too, not like a traditional pie. So it's good.
Squares, baby. And by the way, I just want to say this because Kratz has no idea. People that know Chicago pizza, it's not deep dish. That's for the tourists, dude. It's the thin crust, the super thin crust. You get in the pan, the cast iron pan that's been cooked about 7 million times, and it's just a little bit burned on the bottom. It's about this thick. That is true Chicago pizza, not the deep dish crap that you guys get when you go to, like, you know, Giordano's or wherever, you know, Lou Malnati's, those places. That's not real Chicago pizza. It's the real thin. And I love Detroit pizza because I love the squares. It brings me back when I was in like elementary school on Pizza Fridays, and you get the square of pizza, and you're like, oh, please let me get 2 pepperonis.
We had some yesterday before we left. Actually, it was in the clubhouse. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna eat 2 slices like it's nothing. Like it goes down quick. You don't feel bad about it. You feel good. It's like, all right.
All right, I want to get your take on a few relevant topics in the sport right now. First of all, are we okay with the way the home plate rule is with catchers? Did you see that play last night?
Am I okay with it? Or
yeah, are you okay with it? We just went over it. You saw Pete Alonso out at home with the relay to get him, and they felt like, some people felt, including like their manager, like he was blocking the plate. Amaya?
Well, I don't understand. I don't understand it. One, like, it's like I get why the rule's in place, you know, whatever, but I thought he was also just safe, right? Like, he was just like, his hand was in there. I didn't see a ton of angles, but I thought his hand was in there before he was tagged anyways. So, like, whether he was blocking the plate, sure, that run shouldn't have counted, or how about him just being safe, normal? I don't know. I was confused by it.
No, it's a good call. Yeah, we were going over that. Do you like AJ and me throwing out the elevated plate idea? Even if it's not during, let the pitch bounce if it's got to bounce. But then once the ball's in play, you just get like a little, just like a few inches up off the ground.
Like a action? No, that can never happen.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
No, they make it. No, they have a little air compressor in there, and as soon as the ball's in play, someone hits a
my
button, it goes, boom, and it makes it like a pillow. That way, you slide into like a pillow, so nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
We don't need any more changes to the game.
Oh.
An air compressor? We can't even get the pitch comm to work like 80% of the time. We're trying to get an air compressor in home plate. Thank you, Tarik. Thank you for telling them to stop.
All right, I got two more then. Tarik, one, because some fans asking about this. ABS, the automatic ball strike system. Did you deal with any of that or experience any of that, even on a rehab outing or anything? And do you think that we should get some type of that when it's ready?
Yeah, last year when I was rehabbing in Toledo, they did like the first 3 games of the week were ABS, and I had a game where it was ABS, and I don't know how they're going to get the strike zone right or define the strike zone, and how they're going to apply it to every hitter. The zone felt very small, like there was no top of the zone. Like I would get, I was pitching, and if you got like a swing and miss at the top of the zone, I would go look at what the ABS thought it was a strike, and it was like 7 balls up. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever gotten a swing and miss on a pitch 7 balls above the zone. It's like that just doesn't really happen. So yeah, I don't really know what this strike zone would be. I'm hearing the challenge is kind of the way to go. Give the team 3 challenges or whatever, and if they keep them and they get them right, they get to keep them, whatever it may be. I'm a fan of it. I mean, get rid of the really bad misses, but I also think the game's in a good spot right now, and baseball's, fun to watch. So I don't really know if I want to change much more.
Who benefits? Who benefits the most if they bring this into the big leagues with some of the stuff that dudes have? Is it a pitch? Is it a certain type of hitter? Is it a certain, throwing from this angle to get something? I don't know.
I'm thinking, hitters want the zone to be called correctly, but like if you go look at reports those little umpire scorecards that are on, Twitter, they're not horrible. There's just some bad misses. But I think that, pitchers will figure out how to use the ABS to their advantage. Like all of a sudden you might start seeing some really high curveballs all the time, or like high spin, because it's not really called to strike a ton. But if you can start landing curveballs at the top of the zone, you can't really swing at that a ton, and if you do swing, it's going to be really late. So yeah, and then like sometimes, you go to your glove side, and, I do this. I try to go to my glove side and I miss 18 inches on the other side of the plate, and it's a strike, but it's never called. And I couldn't imagine a hitter liking that one where a catcher's like diving for a pitch and it's a called strike 3 or whatever. So I honestly think pitchers will figure out how to use it to their advantage more than hitters would like the zone. I mean, the zone's the smallest it's ever been too right now. So,
which is probably attributing to more of the injuries, because guys have to throw the absolute piss out of the baseball, and because the zone is so much smaller. But talking about an advantage for pitchers, let's talk about another advantage for pitchers. You have the ball in your hand. Is it okay to throw it, guys?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of purposefully hitting guys just because it's dangerous. I think there's effectively pitching inside off the plate, and I'm a fan of that. I don't want guys to get comfortable and dive over the plate, so I'll pitch in off, on purpose. But I'm never trying to hit a guy. But there's all those kind of unwritten stuff that goes on in a game, and you got to protect your teammates. I'm a fan of having my teammates back for whatever reason. If there's something dirty that happens in the game, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of throwing at guys just because it's dangerous. the ball's coming in hard. You never know what can happen. You don't want to hurt a guy. It's just more about like sending a message to kind of clean the game up a little bit. But that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, so I'll never face you, but if I did and I hit a homer off you and I just stood there and watched it and bat flipped and moonwalked around the bases and touched home like Prince Fielder did and all my teammates were out there and they fell down like bowling pins. And then I, threw some confetti and popped champagne at home plate and I looked at you. Then my next at bat, I came up there and you're just like, all right, I'm just going to go away again. I would be like, yes, jackpot. I'm going to do it again. But see, that's where
I don't think this is a fastball away in that situation.
So where are you getting the fastball? Where's the fastball going then?
It's gonna, if you got an elbow guard, it's gonna come in right somewhere close. Hopefully.
Well, first of all, I was left-handed and my elbow guard was like this big, so I was all up diving out over the plate.
Oh, Tarik's out of the game. He's out of the game.
Yep, I went
out of the game.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hit you, but it's just gonna be enough to where it's like, hey, you need to stop getting comfortable in the box. But
see,
I have no problem like pimping homers and all that stuff. I think fans want to watch it, whatever. I don't have a problem with it. I want our guys to pimp every homer. It's hard to hit homers. Like pimp it, get excited, do something cool. Fire the boys up. I'm all for that. But I do think there's some part of the game where some of that's a little too far. There's some stuff that happens that's a little too far. But at the end of the day, who cares? The guys are just having fun and being themselves, and I think that's when baseball is the best to watch.
I love it. But I'll just tell you this: if I was ever going to face you, and I did do that, and then you threw one in, I would be the master of like sticking my and the umpire would be like, "Skubal, you're out of here. He threw at him." I'm like, "Yes, our team is going to win now because he threw at me, Mr. Umpire. He threw at me. Get him out of here. It was on purpose. He did it on purpose."
Yeah. I mean, hopefully umpires will have a little bit of feel in that aspect, but I don't.
We know. We got it. We got you. All the umpires are awesome. We got you.
Yeah, it's a much different game now than it was for sure.
Tarik, let's get to you and to the team in the division. So, teams playing well. Division is playing well.
Best division in baseball.
Do you say screw all the haters? Which, hey, not going to lie, we've said it many times too. Like, AL Central's worst division in baseball. And you go off records like last year, for example, it plays out that way. It's not playing this way. Is this an underrated division?
Yeah, I mean, every team in the big leagues is good. Every team is, it's hard to win in the big leagues. But yeah, I mean, we're off to a good start. The Royals are a good team. We got 3 against the Yankees, and we go to Cleveland, so we kind of, can kind of see what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, it's a good division. There's good teams. Minnesota can't lose right now. They've won 10 in a row or whatever it is, and it's a good division. There's good teams, and I think that makes the games really fun too. So that's what it's all about, is competing against the best teams and winning. So it's been a good start for us.
After you strike dudes out, I don't know if you could see it there, your highlights of you striking dudes out, you kind of walk around like, all right, it's fine. It's super easy. Like, I'm just going to go. So you've been dealing. Jack's been doing good. Maeda was struggling a little bit. What were you more excited to watch? Jack's 14 punch outs or Maeda coming through for the boys?
Yeah, I think they're both, great in their own. But Jack's, 14 punch outs, when he struck out the first 7 guys in a row, there was a point where, like, there's a foul ball that lands in our dugout, and Carson is, like, going to try and catch it over the railing. And in the dugout, I'm like, no, drop it. Like, let it drop. I want to see how many strikeouts this guy can get in a row before someone puts it in play, And that was the 7th one. He struck him out, like, 2 pitches later. That was, like... I'm watching that and I'm like, what is going on, right? I haven't seen such dominance like that. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, is he going to punch out 20? And he ends with 14. And I'm like, I don't even know if 20 is possible, but people have done it. And I'm like, I don't know how that's even possible to do, because I've never seen someone that locked. Like, go watch, not even the strikeout pitches, go watch the whole tape. It's like, execute, here, spin below, fastball at the bottom. He's throwing changeups. He doesn't even throw changeups. He's throwing changeups, and I'm like, he's throwing sinkers in the first, changeups in the first. And I'm like, oh, he's on one today. Because it's usually, fastball, slider, big breaking ball. So, yeah, I think that was as impressive of a performance as I've ever seen. And I would love to feel like that on the mound. Like, here's 7 strikeouts to start the game off. Like, good luck today. But yeah, that was impressive.
Was anything said? Like, was there anything like leading up to it? Like, kind of would like to, I got a little extra for this game. Do you guys go out and like watch him warm up before the game or anything like that?
Yeah, starters are our rotation's always out there watching pregame bullpens, and his pregame bullpen's a little bit different than everyone else's. It's like very relaxed, like easy. And then once the anthem happens, he like dials in. And I've always thought this is like super impressive. What he does is like, he's just like flipping stuff, feeling spin. Anthem happens and it's like, boom, he turns it on. And it's like nutted fastball, great slider, fastball. And he's out of there. And then he goes into the game. And I'm like, dude, that was crazy to lock in. From what he was doing, anthem happens to then the next 8 pitches are just absolutely dialed to each side of the plate. But yeah, I'm sure there was a little bit of extra, juices flowing for him. Just knowing all those guys too, and his whole career was there. Yeah, I think, it obviously showed too. He pitched really, really well.
And just to give you I looked this up, stat context on the 20 strikeout games in the past. I just looked at, say, Kerry Wood, 122 pitches, Max Scherzer, 119. I mean, your coaches they're not going to let you guys do that to get to that number, Close.
I mean, even Jack, after he got done, he comes out of the game and I was like, how'd that feel? Like, what was that just like? I didn't want to talk to you while the game was going on, but I mean, that's got to feel good, sitting on the, he's like, honestly, I'm exhausted right now. And I was like, that's how you should be. And that was, yeah, I don't know that Kerry Wood game. I mean, watching that, his stuff was insane. Like the catcher could barely catch. I don't even know who was catching, but it was like the glove was going everywhere. Curveballs. I'm like, wow. The stuff that he had that day was high octane. I mean, Scherzer is Max Scherzer, right? But 20 strikeouts is special. Would Clemens do it twice? I mean, it's crazy.
How do you simulate it for Jack and even for you, like when you have your best game? How do you run it back? I guess for Jack, it's easy. You guys all just act like you're playing the Cardinals every time he has a start for the rest of his tenure with the Tigers. Be like, all right, can't wait. We're facing the Cardinals today. Just put it in his head. And then he'll pitch differently in the regular season. I mean, come on. Like you said, there's extra juice. So how do you simulate that? Is there a way to kind of get that same level for every start?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's just like you kind of feed off the environment too. We had, great fans as well this last kind of homestand too with the draft and all that. That was in the city. So you kind of feed off that energy that was there. But I mean, that was game 1 of the doubleheader. I don't even think there was that many people there. Yeah, he's on his start days in general, he's kind of on a different level. It's kind of one of the guys you just get out of the way and he has his headphones in. You don't talk to him. He's doing his thing. But yeah, I think a lot of it is kind of environment created too. When you kind of get that adrenaline, that's why the playoff baseball, that environment's electric. So you just feed off of it. And that's harder to do over, a lot of games, especially in the middle of the summer when it starts getting really hot. Ooh, my camera's going to fall. But yeah.
So are you a don't talk to me on start day guy, or are you I'll still be the same guy? Because there's different people,
Yeah, no, I'll mess around. I'll kind of do whatever. I used to be that guy, but it's just, I thought it was like mentally like exhausting for me personally, just like to be so locked in the whole day. About 2 hours before the game, that's when I kind of start my routine. That's when I get in the hot tubs, and that's when I'll start to kind of slowly dial it in. But then once I walk outside, that's kind of when I'm pretty locked in on what I'm doing. But I used to be like a whole day guy, and by the time the game would start, I would already be tired. Like mentally, I'm already tired because like I've been locked in for 5 hours or whatever. So I just kind of transitioned to just, hey, keep it light, stay relaxed, mess around, do the crossword, whatever. And then when you kind of need to lock it in, throw your headphones in if you need to. Sometimes I don't even wear headphones. I'll just kind of go turn on music in the weight room or wherever I'm doing my prep stuff. So, but that's just me. Everybody's different too. I feel like more guys are on the, kind of headphone in thing about 3 hours before the game than not. But it didn't work for me. So I kind of went away from it.
I love it. First of all, I was going to ask you about your stuff and what you're throwing and what you feel so good, but crosswords, do you finish them? Are you a USA Today? Are you a New York Times guy? I mean, because I used to do the crossword every day.
Yeah, not New York Times, not the LA one either. I'm USA Today. I think that's the easiest one. I've kind of got the jargon down a little bit too. They kind of use reoccurring words and stuff like that. But I'm good at them. I'm decent at them. Sometimes I get a little jammed up and I need Jake Rogers. Jake Rogers is really good at them. I'll ask for a little backup on the day I pitch. I have to finish it every day. I do as much as I can, and then once I'm stuck, then I kind of have Raj come over from his locker and be like, dude, give me a different clue to get this word or whatever it is. So, but yeah, USA Today.
There's staples, right? There's staples every day that you have to figure out. Once you learn the staples, and you can kind of figure it out, right? So you don't do Wordle,
Yeah, I do the Wordle every day too. I send that
connections,
to Raj.
Wordles, all that stuff.
Yeah, Wordle, crossword, and I think that's really I tried to do the baseball. What's the baseball one?
Immaculate Grid.
Yeah, I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at it. My percentages are way too high. I'm not good at it, so I just stopped doing that.
You only know the recent people, so that's cool. But I do have team. Yeah, also true, and not a lot of teammates. So I have one question for you, and then Kratz is going to ask you one, but. Next time you do, or a favor for you, next time you do the crossword tomorrow in the clubhouse, I want you to get Shelly Miller. Yes, I called him Shelly because that's what we used to call him. Shelly Miller, and I want you to film him trying to do the crossword.
He does it every day.
And then to have him, but he only gets like 4 words. He used to only get like 4 words. He used to sit there and do it, and he'd get like 4 words, and it was like, enemy of dog, and it would be cat. And we're like, good, Shelby, you're really moving up in the world. So we used to make fun when
I think he does a little group effort over there. There's kind of, at home, there's all the relievers are kind of on one wall, and they kind of have a little group effort going on. So he does a good job on him, though. I mean, he scuffles a little bit, but he does a good job. I mean, Shelby's awesome, too. He's such a great dude all the time, too. He's so much fun to have. Watching him play ping pong is even better. That's like my favorite thing to watch is watch him and Lang play ping pong is about as good as it gets, too. So that's fun.
All right, well, make sure he's buying you dinners. Make sure he's buying you dinners from me. Tell him I said that he has to buy you dinners.
Got it.
Is he good at ping pong, or is it a debacle?
It is. It's not good. It's not a good brand of ping pong, but it is fun to watch. It is fun to watch. It's those two guys. Their personalities too are fun, and then you get them on a ping pong table and. I don't want to bag them, but they're not the best ping pong players, and they go at it, and it's it's fun. It's fun to watch.
All right, what else is fun to watch? This is the last question. We'll let you go. You spent like 3 minutes in the minor leagues. Paul Skeens has been in the minor leagues for like a minute and a half. As a elite level pitcher that you were ready for the big leagues sooner. Should guys like Paul Skeens stay down in the minor leagues to learn things, or when you're dominating like he is, should you just call him up and learn in the big leagues?
Yeah, I think let me figure out how to answer this one. I think that I think there's a lot of learning to happen in the big leagues. So there's a lot of development to happen in the big leagues. When I came up, I did not pitch well in 2020. And in 2019, in the minor leagues, I threw 75% fastballs or 80% fastballs. And then I get into the big leagues and I try to do that same thing. I didn't have feel for really much else. I was just like, when in doubt, throw a fastball by a guy. And it worked in the minor leagues. It didn't work so much in the big leagues. And I had to learn the lesson the hard way. I gave up 30 whatever homers in 2021 throughout the season, which is a lot, but like you learn from it. I wasn't even great in April or, even May. I didn't have a great first, 3 months in the big leagues, but I learned a ton. At times it was tough mentally. You pitch really well and you want to have the same success in the big leagues, and you're not having it, and then you kind of question your confidence a little bit. But I think with the guys that we had around, me and the coaching staff, they kind of just kept assuring, like, hey, just keep doing it. The results will start to show. So that was a huge thing. But yeah, I think if you're pitching really well, and there's no better place to learn than the big leagues, in my opinion. There's no better place to learn about yourself. There's no better place to learn about your teammates, your character, all that stuff, than when things are going well, in the big leagues. And, if you come up and fail, it's not the end of the world. Go back down to AAA and work on what didn't lead to success in the big leagues. Go work on it, go get better, and then you'll have another chance right away. So, do I think Paul Skeens is ready for the big leagues? Absolutely. Have you seen the stuff he throws? It's about as electric as it gets. And whether or not he even comes up and pitches well, I don't think it matters. I think he's going to learn a ton. His demeanor, I think, just watching the whole College World Series run last year, and the stuff that I've heard from, teammates of him that, mutually through the baseball world, like, he works his ass off. So I think he's going to be good for a very long time.
Yeah, perfectly stated. Tarik, great to have you on, man. Great to have you back on here. You're great. Really enjoy the interview. So keep doing your thing out there, dude. And also, I mean, you won't say it, but hopefully we'll see you in Texas for a little all-star action. I know it's early, but keep dealing, dude.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Of
nice
course.
haircut for the New York trip, too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you. It was like 2 days. Thank you.
Got
Nice.
tightened up. Knew you were going to New York. I feel you.
Yeah.
New York and Cleveland, very similar.
The lights shine a little brighter in this one. Yeah. And then to Cleveland, yeah.
Nailed it.
Thanks, Tarik.
Thanks, Tarik.
Good luck,
we'll talk
buddy.
to you soon.
Guys.
Cheers, Tarik Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, in all seriousness.
Dude,
Hopefully we
he's
see
dealing. Right
him
now, he's got to
in
be
the All-Star game.
front runner AL Cy Young.
He is up there.
4-0 at the 1-7.
That'll do it.
I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head who's close to that. I mean, maybe one of the Red Sox guys.
Cutter finally gave up a home run. Cutter Crawford. I mean, he has to be up there. It doesn't look as easy as when Tarik goes out there and does it, but he just looks like it's like, just try to get this at bat over with. I know it's not that easy. I know he's facing big league hitters, but he rips through a lineup.
There's dudes though. So Logan Gilbert has a 2.03 ERA.
Seth Lugo should be up there.
Bryce Miller 2.04. I'm going like kind of from the low twos now. I'm working my way up. Obviously, Ronel Blanco is still at 1.65. Tanner Houck at 1.60. Seth Lugo at 1.60. Cutter Crawford 1.56. Just give an idea of like who's been shining. And actually, one more that we have not talked much about, and it's almost like you don't want to jinx it, but I don't believe in that crap. Do you know who has the best qualified ERA among American League starters right now? I don't think you'll get it.
Can you
Do
give
we
me
have a division?
AL East. I don't think you'll get it. Like he's barely been
Rodon.
talked about.
Barrios.
Oh,
Got
he
it.
is
Barrios has been dealing.
Dealing. But like no one's I feel like everyone's like, then he goes through a rut.
He's been dealing, bro.
Yeah.
Dealing.
He was dealing. He made a change partway through the season last year, and he's had obviously not as well as he started, but he started doing a lot better after his slow start last year when he wasn't throwing any pitches for strike. Any off-speed for strike.
He wasn't pitching that good because they ripped him out of that wild card game like it was nothing.
Well, you're not wrong.
This could be the year though. I mean, everyone's been waiting because stuff-wise, he's had it.
Oh, but that guy works hard. I know
he
people
does.
that have played with him and coached him, and they say that
Love
dude
that.
worked his tail off.
But people get frustrated because they're like, oh, this guy could be a consistent one. But it's like, okay, but just because you have the stuff doesn't mean that it's going to all go in the right place every single game. Like that is part of the puzzle.
Goes into it, Scott.
I've heard. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to have our next guest coming through. Unified Healing is sponsoring this episode of Foul Territory. Unified Healing is an innovative global network of wellness centers powered by Energy Enhancement System, or EE System. This technology promotes wellness and deep relaxation, and there are hundreds of locations across the globe. Interested in experiencing the EE System technology for yourself? Go to unifydhealing.com/foul to learn more and find a center near you. That's UNIFYD healing.com/FOUL. No material or testimonials on the Unified Healing website are intended to be viewed as medical advice or a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regimen, including EE System. I can introduce him as veteran big league catcher, but how about just winner? World Series champ. Now on the first place Cleveland Guardians, no big deal. Austin Hedges on this show for the first time. Hedgie, how you doing, man? Great to have you.
Yeah, doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
I don't recognize him with his shirt on, though, because every time they showed him in Texas last year, him and Scherzer, he had his shirt off and they were pouring liquids on each other. So I don't really recognize him with his shirt on right now.
I mean, AJ, I bet you did the same thing when you were making some playoff runs. You can't have a shirt.
No, I didn't have the great chest hair that you had, so I kept my shirt on. I was like Jose Altuve, do not take my shirt off, guys, because then you're going to see things that aren't supposed to be there on professional athletes. So you'd be like, with you, if I had your body, shirt off all the time.
Oh, thank you.
Can't get a better
coiffed. Perfectly coiffed.
Yeah.
Coiffed.
Yes.
Hey, so let's dive right into it. So first off, I mean, Guardians are off to a great start. Clearly, if you're a veteran catcher in the big leagues and you can chat and you've got a brain, you can lead a franchise. So how's that going with Voter?
Oh, man. I mean, the guy was just meant to do this. Like, obviously, he had such an incredible career. Playing 13 years in the show, multi-all-star, World Series champ. But the way he's commanding this clubhouse, as a first-year manager, and, he's replacing Terry Francona, arguably the greatest of all time. And the boys are just responding right away. It started in camp. Everybody was on the same page. Everyone was buying in. And, it's just been transitioning so smoothly so far this year. And, to his credit, I think he does a great job of delegating, letting his coaches coach, letting his players play. And, I think when you're doing that, it leads to some good results.
Oh, wait. Are you trying to get playing time? Like, come on. What is Voter? You guys are in first place. We don't need to hear what he does good. What is Voter really stunk at since he has been manager?
Stunk at? I mean, there's not a thing he's stunk at. The guy's a natural. Like, I'm sorry. I wish I had something bad to say about the guy, but my God, I mean, it's been so crispy so far.
Not even like he doesn't even wear the manager's uniform real well. Like, you'd rather see him in like a cut off sleeve. Like give the guy some critique. As a player, as an ex-player, everybody wants a critique, especially Voter. He wants a critique. Like, does he need more swag?
I'm going to be reaching here. I mean, obviously, it's not like he has as much swag as Mini Gabe Kapler with Kai Correa, right? I mean, That guy's got elite swag. But, Voter, he's got the beard's been clean, lined up well. He mixes up the BP tops. That's kind of a showy look. But, God, man, I'm like, I'm thinking. I just don't have anything. The guy's killing it.
Love it. Wow. All right, so the difference between Voter and Bochy. I mean, you have like two polar opposite kind of guys, I feel like. Bochy just sits there miserable, even though he wins World Series every year. And then Voter is new. He's got to be full of energy, right? He's like, let's go, team.
Not really, man. Not really. It's honestly, it's pretty comparable. I think between Boch, I think between Tito and Voter, it's very similar manager styles. It's not rah-rah. He's not a rah-rah guy. He brings energy when it's time to do it, but so do the other guys. But it's pretty poised and under control, and I think that's what the best managers do. I don't think it's this crazy thing of we got to change the game, we got to overdo this or that. It's let's just go play baseball. We play baseball the right way. We're probably going to win some games. If we don't, probably going to lose some games. And in a way, sorry to disappoint, but they're pretty similar in that way.
You mean they're both pro? You're saying Voter's pro. So that's all you had to say. Just he's pro.
He's pro. Hey, and that's something that he preaches too. He's like, hey, in camp he started, hey, be a pro. whatever that means to you, be a pro. And that, if you're wondering about how I should go about my business, how I should work, what I should wear to the field, how I should act, like all those things, it's like, if you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, I'm being a pro right now, then you're probably doing it right.
That's so voter. Love that. He's not gonna delegate. He's not gonna micromanage stuff. But you micromanage a little bit with your pitch comm. Have you changed the voice on your pitch comm for any of your pitchers this year?
No. Actually, believe it or not, Craig Albernaz, our bench coach, I think he brought over a new way of using the pitch comm, which is pretty interesting. Where we basically have. We turned, I think, like 18 options into like almost 30 plus options on there with like multiple clicks of these buttons, which I didn't even know was a thing. When he was explaining to me in camp, I was like, I don't even know what that means, bro. So like he's showing me how to do it, and it's wild. So it's like, I mean, we have every pitch, every location, pickoffs, back picks, first and third plays, bunt defense plays. But it's just a generic voice, sadly. I know how much everybody likes listening to me talk, but it's just a generic voice on this one.
They actually like looking at you. They don't like listening to you. You have a face for TV. I have a face for radio. So there's a big difference.
I totally agree with you there, Kratzy.
Tell me what, like, are you doing like A start, up, down, left, right, select, B, A? Like, is there like things that Craig like unlocked? Is he the pitch comm wizard?
Dude, I mean, in a way, like I thought, like us a couple years ago, changing it to like my voice and making like certain buttons make more sense to like, how we'd call a game. I thought that was like super nuanced, but we still had like 18 options or something. I mean, this guy came over and brought in, like I said, like I think we have over 30 options. I couldn't even tell you what all of them are right now, but it's pretty impressive. And it makes our jobs a whole lot easier. I mean, AJ Kratz, I know how much you guys love going out for first and third signs and giving like, all right, first touch, second touch, like, what are we doing? Now you click a button that says throw the ball to second base, and it's like, oh, that's so much better.
No, dude, you didn't like going out there being like, hey, first and third for everyone. Hey, the shortstop's back there like looking. He's like, you're like, hey, everybody, look. And you run the same play every time, even though you give like a million signs. You're like, yeah, we're throwing it through. If the guy steals, we're screwed anyways. Or you're doing the pump fake. Like, it was like,
right, everybody knows. Everybody, less than 2 outs, probably throwing through. 2 outs, probably pump faking. Okay, here we go.
End on your chest. I'm eating it right here.
Go to second every time.
Yeah. My favorite was when it was first and second. You'd have to walk out there, and you're like, so there'd be like 3 pitches thrown, and the manager would be like, hey, Hedgie, first and second. They'll go, oh, great, I'm throwing it to second. Now the guy's just going to walk to third. Thanks, coach.
Right? Or it's like a lefty's hitting. It's like, hey, you're throwing to third. I'm like, well, yeah, like, okay. Yeah, like, that is where we're throwing it. Okay, thanks.
It's mostly for the middle infielders. The middle infielders are like, they're clueless. They're working on their swing. They're sitting there going like, gee, I wonder, like, am I hitting third? And they're probably way better looking than the catchers and the pitchers, and they're just like,
hey,
whatever.
Speak for yourself, kid. Hey, speak for yourself.
Hey, yeah, seriously. Wait, how do I do this? Us two guys.
No.
That guy.
Us two guys.
That guy.
Only Kratzy,
only
Hedges. You know what I should do? You know what I should do? Maybe like I should bring in, I see some guys doing practice swings at, shortstop, second or something. Maybe like in between pitches, I should do it. Maybe that's how these guys are hitting so good. I've been missing out on my dry reps while I'm catching. I might call time one time, maybe get a nice, like, stay above it, maybe a little teacher man. And then maybe I start raking, and that's the difference. Guys are getting more reps than me while I'm on defense. And that's not fair.
Hedgie.
Hey, how many times did you guys look out in the outfield and your left fielder's out there going,
yep.
So many
like,
times.
Hey, there's a guy hitting, trying not to hit it to him out there. He's out there going. You're like, no, let's pay attention over here. And then my favorite, Hedgie, was it'd be first and third, and you go out there and you're eating it, and you're like, all right, we're not throwing it. And then you look over at your bench coach, and he gives you the throw over. And I'm like, we're not throwing it. Why are we? And then the pitcher would throw it away, and I'd go, why are we doing? If we're letting him go to second, why are we throwing over? We're wasting everyone's time here.
Middle finger.
The beauty of having to play 162 games where just like something's going to happen. And especially when you're a catcher and you're involved in every play, eventually like something's going to happen and you're going to be like, oh my God, here we go again.
Hedgie, if you worked on your hitting in between pitches, imagine the amount of wheelbarrows of cash that you would have. Your legs would be so tired of being on base so often. It'd be unbelievable.
That'd be the issue.
You would be setting the market. You would be setting the market.
It'd be like me, then Juan Soto going into this next year of free agency. But, I think I'm just doing the owners a favor right now, and I'm going to stay locked in behind the plate. I'm not going to do my dry swings. Maybe like big situation, maybe like top nine, top nine. Maybe if there's bases loaded for the opposing team, that's when I'll get some dry swings in, just so I can come up in the bottom of the ninth to hit a walk-off, right? I think that's probably the way.
No, you like last night when you were in extra innings, you're out there and the pitcher's trying to get out of the bottom of the 10th, right? And Quan makes that great catch, and right as the ball is hit, you could have been out there going, I
should have been doing it.
You caught it, Steve. Oh, sorry, I was too busy getting my swing right.
Only thing that matters, right? Only thing that matters. Offense first, baby.
That's right, especially catching. It's amazing.
Hedgie, what does your free agent offseason look like? We talk a lot about, Yamamoto's offseason. We talk about Shohei's. To me, I feel like it's just whatever. Like backup catcher, role player type of, World Series champion, ho-hum. There's so many World Series champion catchers that are out there right now. What does your offseason look like? Because I feel like we gloss over it too much.
It was definitely a fun one. This was very unique. Obviously, it was a second free agency for me. But obviously, like you come off a World Series championship, and the beauty of what we do is like if you're winning, they'll find reasons to make they'll make up reasons for why you helped the team win, and if you're not winning, they'll make up reasons for why you're making the team lose. So luckily for me, everyone was like, oh, well, Hedgie does this and this and this and this so good because they won the World Series. And I'm like, thank you very much. Yes, please send me more offers. And so, I had some decent offers from honestly some winning teams, which was super cool. But Cleveland's always felt like home to me, which is so funny because I got traded from San Diego, which was my home, to Cleveland. And it was heartbreaking, the first time. I didn't know what to do, never been traded, never played anywhere but home. But once I got there, like it's a special group from top to bottom, from front office down to the players, the training staff. And, I realized, I think at this point in my career, how much that matters to me, how much it matters, like showing up to work and like looking forward to going to work every day, not just like the game. It's like, you guys know, like the day to day is like, there's so much time spent, with the boys. And if you're looking forward to going to work every day, you're just going to be happy as a person. So for me, getting the offer from Cleveland, knowing we did something special in 22, and, I think there was an adjustment phase for them last year, and it was kind of like, okay, like now, like 2024, this is the time I think the guards have a shot to go do something special. And, I'm pretty honored to be a part of it.
We talk about the minor leagues here because I was in the minor leagues and AJ skipped the minor leagues. But how much after we were in spring training together in 2016, how much did that year in the minor leagues, do you look at it as, well, such a waste? Like they were saying I was going to go down and I was going to hit and, make me a better hitter and I could catch. Should you have already been in the big leagues at that point? I'm not saying anything against like Norris or Betancourt, the guys that are already in the big league that were in the big leagues that year. But did you feel like, in your case, being in the minor leagues longer at age, I think you're 22 or 23 at that point, was a waste?
No, absolutely not. It was, it was hard though. Cause I was raking down there, but like, I feel like it's not like that big of a deal to go rake in the PCL. Cause like, you're playing on the moon and, it's not hard to hit homers on the moon, but like, I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about the business side of baseball and kind of how things work. And I learned how like everything doesn't go your way, bro. Like the world is not here to just make sure you're doing great. Like we're playing a game, but this is a business. And in this business, like things don't always go your way. And for the most part, at that point in my career, before that, a lot had gone my way. Like I was pretty early draft pick, didn't spend a ton of time in the minor leagues, got to the big leagues at 22. And then the next year I'm back in the minor leagues for the whole year. And so it was very humbling for me to realize like, hey man, like I got to be able to do something that makes it so they have no choice but to have me in the big leagues. And so I don't have to do this grind as much anymore, and I can be where I want to be. So I feel like I learned a lot in 2016, and I'm very grateful for it. I think all the struggles in my life, all the failures I've ever had are probably the things that I remember the most and I'm most proud of, because now like I'm better because of it. And, and I think I'm very grateful for it.
22. Who makes it to the big leagues at 22? 21 or nothing. But anyways, sorry, 21, my bad. But, I just want to say, I played for Fort Wayne 2 years. So Kratz, not a grinder. I went to Fort Wayne twice, bro. I went 95.
You went there twice. So what? That's called 2 vacations.
In cap, dude. I was a Fort Wayne wizard.
Ooh, a wizard. That's right. A little different now. A little better place. A little better place now. Good
yeah,
place
it was. I was in the new old stadium, the old new old stadium, because they built another stadium since I was there.
Yes, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys don't know how good you have it now in the minor leagues. Trust me. Kratz always complaining about the minor leagues, but I do want to ask you this. So before we have guests on, we go on your Wikipedia and we start searching for stuff, and you're like, man, that's kind of interesting. So who's the best player to come off of your Little League team or your OC Aztecs team that apparently your dad coached?
He did. I mean, other than me?
Well, of course. You're all right. So you're 1A, who's 1B, let's say?
I mean, Harper played with us a couple tournaments. He wasn't like necessarily like an everyday guy. So, and also he's like on another planet. He's too good. So I'm not even going to include him. But honestly, the guy that I'm probably most proud of that I think, has had just a special career, and is doing it right where he belongs. That's Joe Musgrove. Kid from San Diego, comes from just an amazing family, hard worker. A guy that like things didn't happen for him that easily. Like he wasn't just this top prospect that like just flew through the minor leagues and was just given a job immediately as a starting pitcher and was a dog from day one. Like this guy like kind of like learned how to be a dog in the big leagues, and to go, to get traded to his hometown city to throw the first no-hitter in the history of the franchise, to go get that contract. I'm super proud of Joe, and it was pretty cool that we got to grow up playing together.
So you weren't proud of Michael Lorenzen? You're not proud of David Fletcher? You're not proud of Matt Chapman? You're not proud of Zach Davies?
I'm not.
My last home in the big
them.
leagues. I'm proud of them.
Not proud of them. Not good enough. Michael Lorenzen's no hitter, not good enough. Sorry, Mike. Honestly, each time whether I'm facing one of them, whether Chappie or Fletch is stepping into the box, like just that look of like, what's up, bro? Like knowing like I can literally see the 9-year-old like grinding with me, having the time of our life, playing travel ball together. And like, it's just so cool that like we're kids talking about being big leaguers one day, but like, it wasn't even like a realistic thing. It was this like fictional, like fairy tale that we all hoped, maybe one day we'll get to this futuristic fake fairy tale land called the big leagues, but like probably not. And, and now we're all here and we're doing it and we've lasted for a while. I mean, like I could not be any more proud of all of them. And it's super cool to go compete against them too.
All right. So back to the bigs for my last one. Guardians off to a great start. I think we knew that they had pitching. The offense has been better so far this season. It was bad last year. I mean, everyone said it, right? There was no secret. There wasn't enough pop. They didn't score enough, the whole deal. And then, we've spoken to some people since that said there was like a real focus on, using more A swings early in counts and all of that. So is that the secret? Like, were they too contact heavy last year? It's not even like there was that much turnover. I mean, I think you were one of the only big league signings that they made in the offseason, but it does look different, at least in the first month.
Yeah, it really is a difference of intent. We have a talented group, but at the same time, we had a group that was, there's a weird cycle to transitioning in the big leagues, right? So you get to the big leagues, you're a rookie, and you're kind of happy to be there, and you're kind of trying to figure out a way to stay so you don't go back down. And then year 2, it's like, okay, like I know I'm a big leaguer. I'm not just happy to be here now. Like, okay, what do I need to do to take my game to the next level? And a lot of times the game humbles you and it challenges you a lot. And it's like, that's that sophomore slump a little bit. And so I think we had a lot of guys in that year 2, year 3-ish window that were learning what those adjustments were. And we're kind of in like a survival mode where now everything we're talking about as a group, especially as an offensive group, is about letting all of those fears go and be so intentful on damaging the baseball. And it is like, do not be afraid to swing and miss. If you chase, or ideally not going to, but we are trying to impact the baseball. And we're going to cheer for it, and we're going to hold you accountable if you don't. So I think that's one of the best things that we have in our group from the coaching side to the players. It's like, okay, like if we're trying to just, foul balls off, swing at pitches, down in the zone that isn't a whole lot of slug there. It's like, hey, buddy, like we need to be better in that situation. Or if we're striking out, swinging at, mistake fastballs or hanging sliders in the top of the zone, it's like, hey, nice swing, nice approach, stay right there. So it's like, I think it's just an accountability thing. And it definitely wasn't a talent thing because the guys in this room are the same guys we had last year. And they're talented, obviously talented enough to do it because they're showing it. So I think it was just a group decision, and now everyone's buying into it.
Real quick one to end here, Hedgie. Are Kama and Ricky two of the weirdest duos that you've ever seen in baseball?
Absolutely, and it is so beautiful. Oh my God, it is. No one knows, those are our bullpen catchers, and they are a riot. They first of all, they work really hard, but they are hilarious and two of the most unique people you've ever met.
Who is this?
They're the bullpen catchers that have been in Cleveland since like Jim Thome was born, and they don't age. They're Highlanders. Like they don't age. They look like they're 25 years old. Kama lost like 50 or 60 pounds, and he looks incredible. Ricky is anyway. It's Ricky and Kama. If you look out in the bullpen, they're the two guys that are pissed off every time a ball comes into the bullpen, and they look pissed every time they have to warm a pitcher up. So
that's exactly right. Yeah, shout out Kama and Ricky.
Hey, as long as Hedges doesn't have to do it, he doesn't care who's out there.
Yeah,
facts.
See, these are Kratz. You guys came up after the days when the catcher used to have to run down to the bullpen and warm up.
Whoa,
no.
Bullpen
catcher.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, AJ.
Hey, my rookie year, I was out catching bullpens from the third inning on, in game, in season. And when we were down by 20 runs, it was like, Hedgie, time for you to pinch hit. Let's stop the game so Hedgie can run from left center all the way across the field in his catcher's gear to go pinch hit against somebody, punch out, and then go walk back to the dugout. Like, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Well, imagine not having to do that as the starting catcher, and they're like, hey, we need you. We're down by a run. It's the 8th inning. Oh, bling. We need you to stop the game. And then everyone's expecting you to get a hit when you come up, and then you strike out, and then you got to go catch the 9th, and everyone's like, why'd they pinch hit you, Pierzynski? Should have left you in the bullpen. And I'm like, yeah, Ozzy, it was my day off, asshole.
That's wild, though. The fans on the South Side are so nice, though. I can't believe that.
I mean, they're nice.
He was talking about Cubs fans. He was talking about Cubs fans.
Sure.
I'm talking about Cleveland fans.
They're okay. They're great.
Yeah.
It's all where you stand.
It's not in the playoffs. In the playoffs, Cleveland fans are brutal.
Stay right there, Cleveland fans. We need you again.
Yep, exactly. Bring that brutality. Bring it back. Hedgie, great to have you on, man. Appreciate it. Keep doing your thing out there. Have fun.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Austin Hedges, Cleveland Guardians, first place.
Yeah.
In the
AL. There's only
Central.
60. I know there's only 60 in the game, like active at one point. But can we just have a catcher every day? They're so much more fun. Even catchers who are kind of quiet and like reserved, you kind of see, like they get a little glit in their eye when AJ comes on. They're like, man, I'm glad I'm a better hitter than AJ, and I'm glad I'm better looking than Kratz. Like, and it's just we need catchers every day.
I'll never forget the interview last year. Was it Maldi? He was really excited to ask AJ like how he preserved his body, and AJ was essentially like, genetics, dude. You're screwed.
That was true.
Good luck to your knees. You're screwed.
No, it was a Fox game.
It was Fox.
We had him on.
It was Fox. It wasn't us. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Fox game.
Oh, did I say us?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maldonado. Yeah, we had Martino on, and he goes, "How did you stay healthy?" And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was funny. It was almost like asking a player sometimes when you're like, what's the real answer? And you're like, and the player's just like, we're just playing well. And for AJ, he was like, no, this is just actually nothing. I didn't do anything special.
I mean, Kratz was talking about having a knee surgery the other day. I don't know. Who has knee surgeries?
I had it in 2013, made it back day under 5 weeks.
It's pretty good.
Great.
Almost as
Just
good as
don't
not
have it.
having
You don't
it.
have to worry about it.
That's true. All right, that's what he said for a first place, or not a first
That
place.
is what he said. It's exactly what
Last year's first place team in the AL Central.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Man, we can't go a show without talking about umps. We can't go an hour without it. This was a mistake. But first, let's get to the positive side of things. The Twins won again. Remember we were on during that game yesterday? And it was 3-1 White Sox.
You remember I said Buxton got hurt? What are they doing?
Yeah. Well, then let's go to that first. So he was running to second, trying to steal, and he kind of stopped short and ended up going back to the dugout. He's hurt. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not anything serious. Dude has really, really not been able to stay on the field. He got yelled at for leaving the field. I was like, is this like middle school baseball or something? What's going on here? That was bad, right?
Bad.
Why do you think that, the first base ump Rob Drake was like, oh, get off the field? And it's like, bro, he's hurt. Why do you think he's just like hanging out? What was I missing there? Or it was just like I had a
We're going to throw to it as soon as Scott stopped talking.
Oh, we have the clip?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Here it is.
Rob Drake was just telling him to get off the field, and I don't think that's appropriate.
That's what he told him?
Yeah.
Way too much.
You think he's not just going to walk off the field just because? That's not a great sight for Twins fans right there.
Walking side by side with Jason Kirkman and Byron inside the dugout.
Like if someone got hit by a pitch, would you be like, get up?
Oh, when I was a player, there was a lot of times I'm like, get up, get off the field. I don't care. You're not dead. Get up.
Really?
Because I was tired. It was 4 hours. We were 4 hours in.
Yeah, but what if the dude's hurt?
Well, I felt bad for him. I hope he wasn't hurt that bad.
What if he was concussed and you want to know what day it is?
I felt bad for
him. Not that
Seriously, though, like there were times where you knew a guy was like,
I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking. I'm not talking about when a guy was like really hurt, but there are times where you're like, all right,
the guy that gets hit in the elbow and he's limping down to first base. You're like, oh my gosh, seriously, like, come on.
My favorite was, I told you this. Remember Maikel Franco,
mm-hmm.
Big Phillies prospect. Obviously, Kratz knows him.
Yep. We
were playing a game. This is when replay first started. It had to be 15 or 16. Ball up over his head. He ducks. The ball hits his bat. He goes down, and he's holding his head. The trainer comes out, does the whole boop, 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 boop. We review it. It never even hit him. It hit his bat. So he had to get back up. He's like woozy. He's like walking to first. And they're like, by the way, you're still up. And he's like, because, you can review that.
It didn't work.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. He's like laying there. He's like, oh, I don't feel good. Really, the trainer's like, do follow my finger. And he's like, ooh.
Well, he learned from you.
It was unbelievable. They were like, get up, dude. It didn't even hit you.
He flopped.
No, that was a true flop. But it was, listen, when guys are hurt, but it's not an umpire's place to tell someone to get up and get off the field.
Did he not realize that? That's why I was confused. Did he not realize that he was hurt?
Well, he obviously didn't realize. I don't think he's gonna say get off the field if he's hurt. But remember when who was it? Was it McNeil was up and Pete Alonso took too long to get back to first base last year and they called a timer violation?
Yes.
So there is a sense because of the clock. Obviously, it was a bad feel. He didn't see that he was hurt, but he was telling them to get off the field. I mean, I guess they could call a timer violation if he's not hurt. Do guys need to go down now if they're hurt, like in the NFL, so that the play clock doesn't go down?
He went on the IL today, so he had to be somewhat hurt.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, can we play that again? Can we play that again?
You want to play the same thing?
Yeah, please. Because listen to what the Twins announced. I'm pretty sure it's LaTroy Hawkins.
You don't have to do that.
No, play.
Rob Drake was just telling him to get off the field, and I don't think that's appropriate.
That's what he told him?
Yeah.
Way too much.
You think he's not just going to walk off the field just because. That's not a great sight for Twins fans right there.
Walking side by side with Jason Kirkman and Byron inside the dugout.
Which line did you like way too much?
He goes, it's way too much. I just
Way
texted
too
you.
much.
I go, get off my field. And he goes, what field? I'm like, weren't you commentating yesterday? He's like, oh, yeah, my bad. I was pissed. I'm like, I could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have been pissed, dude. I would have been pissed, too, if I was doing that game. And
Shout out to Jason Kirkman, the trainer. He's my AAA trainer. Took like 15 years to make it to the big leagues.
Which year?
2011. Ion Peaks.
I know we keep going down this direction, but it does seem to be an early theme. There's been a change in local broadcasts, in my opinion. They're more aggressive towards umpires this year. There was a time, at least when I was working for the league and talking to a lot of people, obviously every broadcast is different. Every team's different with how they approach things. The league's different. But I did feel like there was like a line that you generally stayed around. Like, sure, you could say, hey, I don't think that was a strike or whatever. But now it's just full on person to person. Yeah, I mean, Jim Palmer was on Masson. I saw this on Awful Announcing, and it said, quote from Palmer, you kind of wonder how, talking about CB Buckner, you kind of wonder how bad he's going to be, and he's shown us already in the first inning. All you want is a guy who understands the strike zone that's on the ground. He shouldn't be umpiring, and he is, and they know it. It's kind of like pitching when I couldn't get people out. I became a broadcaster. Like, we ain't holding back anymore. You make a mistake, you make a mistake. In fairness, when a player makes a mistake, everyone's super critical. Like, you're on the field. You're a performer. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, we just talked about Jose Abreu getting optioned yesterday. Wasn't cutting it for now.
No.
Agreed to go down. Otherwise, he might have been cut. Just
They're
saying.
going to option some umpires down soon too, right?
10%.
No, they never get optioned down. They get. It's the best job. One of the best jobs in the world, except for the travel. But I digress.
What about the Twins? 10 in a row? Is it the schedule? It's the schedule.
But according to Scott, it doesn't matter who they played. You know, they played
No.
White Sox 7 and the Angels 3. So it doesn't matter.
For context, if you paid attention to the show last year when the Rays started out 1-0, said they're good, but I don't think they're amazing. Said I think they're playing some bad teams. I got yelled at by my friends for saying that. I'm going to reiterate. Just friends, just using it generically, people I know.
More like acquaintances.
Acquaintances. Okay. People that I speak with often.
That's better. Work. We're more like work friends.
Generalized.
Like work friends, okay?
Yes. And they are at it again with me on our meetings that we have before the show because these 10 games have been against.
Well, 7 are against the White Sox.
Right.
But they were hot. They won 3 in a row before the Twins came in.
Okay, but how are they doing in general? How are the White Sox?
Well, it depends on what criteria, as Lee Elliott once said. If you're going off of their record, 6-25, apparently that is the criteria that most people use. But if you go off certain other people that are, they're saying they're doing great. They're doing all the fundamentals and they're working really hard and they're trying really hard, which is always important.
So is my nephew's little league team. They're working hard. They're trying hard. Should they play?
Play what?
In the bigs? I mean,
they're good enough one day.
And I get it. The White Sox, they're bad. And they did sweep the Rays. But
they swept
Twins,
the Rays.
And
they beat the Guardians and they beat the Braves.
One time. Yes. My point was the Twins are good. They still very much can win the Central. And I still think they're the front runner to win the Central.
That's a better division than people thought.
It is.
4 teams
it's
over
close.
500.
Tigers, yeah. I got.
If Skubal stays healthy, yes, I agree.
Yes.
Because Skubal is the real deal. And then you have the rest of that rotation that's better. Maeda finally got it going. Casey Mize stays healthy. And the back end of their bullpen is good. I mean, Foley, Lang, Shelby Miller, Chafin. It's a good back end of a bullpen.
So what's the ranking for you right now? How would you project this division going forward? Like if you could re-rack it.
Detroit, Royals, Twins, and then who cares?
Right.
Guardians?
What about the Guardians? You forgot.
I totally blew that.
Oh, voters going to be on the
start
phone.
again.
Start again.
Okay.
I completely blew it. Guardians, Detroit, Royals, and then whatever.
Wait, see, this is where it gets interesting.
So now you just kicked the Twins out.
You just kicked the Twins to 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
I picked the Twins to win the division. So
I did too. I got Twins.
Stick with them.
Tigers. Royals or Guardians? Well, it's tough. Twins, Tigers. I'll go Royals, Guardians, and whatever, that other team. It's tough though. See, yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's none of them are powerhouses, but I need to see more from Cleveland the rest of the way here.
Yeah,
I do think it's a better team than they were last year.
Well, I love that everyone's like, oh, they just decided to hit the ball harder. I'm like,
that's my favorite.
And
they're still not striking out that much. They strike out close to. I mean, they're still top 7 in the game in strikeouts. Before they were like top 3 last year, but they don't strike out a lot. But I just decided to hit it harder. I was playing a different game. I was trying to hit it harder every time.
That's what he said.
So then, what is it? Why is the offense better?
They got guys that
they're just getting older.
They've got guys that have matured. Kwan's taking better swings, driving the ball more than what he did. Naylor's been great for the last half of last year and then this year. Jose Ramirez.
Will Brennan has 4 homers.
Will Brennan. Jimenez is getting on base. I mean, they've also grown up a year.
Yep.
It's like you get older, you get a little stronger, you get a little better pitch selection wise. See more. I mean,
The question is, could that have happened at another team? Or is this only a Cleveland Rays / Pirates type of thing where guys can grow in the big leagues? Like these guys that need an extra year, like Hedgie was saying, need that extra year to grow. Does Will Brennan get another chance? I mean, Cleveland got rid of Miles Straw. Miles Straw was not the reason that, the offense is now clicking. But they're not afraid to send guys down. Do the guys that have improved and grown, as AJ and Hedgie said, like, do they get that chance at other teams? Do they get that chance on I'm not even talking about like the Phillies, the Yankees. I'm talking about on a team like the Orioles. Like those dudes are getting called up from the minor leagues. If you're not doing Colton Cowser stuff, you're getting sent back down.
Yep. Well, that's it. Now we talk to Pap. Jonathan Papelbon joining us right now. Pap, what's up, dude? This is
what
live.
up, my people?
Because we have you, a couple times a week. Pap's checking in with his pick at least. And,
AJ, you're looking really good today, my friend.
I wore this just for you, Pap.
Did you?
I can't wait.
I'm
gonna go watch your daughter play some volleyball, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to, dude. Tell me you tailgate before football games, please. So you have a big tailgate or something.
Yeah. We're all good there, man.
All right. When they play Florida, it's on.
Okay. All right. That's the deal.
I think it's like September 20th, something like that.
All right.
Pap, the way that AJ is wearing that jersey, it looks like there's 3 T's in state. Is that how you guys spell it down there?
No, it's a real intricate process, Kratz. It's the way like you button up your jersey, so you put an extra one that goes over it. You know all about it. We know how to spell Mississippi, though.
I know. Ole Miss is such a nice campus. I'm so proud of that. There's 2 people that support Ole Miss here. Nice.
Yeah, I could say some pretty derogatory things about Ole Miss, but I'm gonna save all that for Stephen A. today.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Hey, Pap, all you got to say to Kratz is like, when's the last time that Eastern Mennonite fielded a football team? That's it.
We're undefeated. Undefeated.
And Stephen A. knows nothing about baseball, but we are going to talk about him because I guess he's a national sports figure and he is attacking our sport. So let's run what he said about the Mike Trout injury.
Well, it's driving me crazy. And let me tell you this. Mike Trout is a sensational player when he's healthy. One of the greatest. He really, really is. And I'm a huge, huge fan. But I've grown disgusted with his lack of availability. It makes me question. I know he looks the part. What the hell are you doing to take care of yourself? Always injured. I mean, damn. It's baseball. I mean, what are you talking about here? It's not football. It's not boxing. It's not the UFC. You're not running up and down the court 94 feet basketball for 82 nights a year. It's baseball. Half the time y'all out standing out in the outfield, chewing on pumpkin seeds or something, waiting for a fly ball to come your way. How the hell is he always hurt? I don't understand this.
He is always hurt.
It drives me nuts when I see baseball players getting hurt. What is it that you're doing with yourself physically that you can't stay healthy? Playing baseball. Now, you get hit by a pitcher, so that's different. I get all of that. But these oblique injuries, you're running around the base and catch a hamstring injury, you're running out for a fly ball, and all of a sudden something gets tweaked. What the hell is going on? I think you talked about karma with the New York Knicks. How about this? How about this, doggy? Maybe it's karma for him that he stayed with the Angels. Maybe it's karma with him that he signed with that damn moribund franchise. Maybe he should have went someplace else where you're going to be relevant. And that way, you incentivized to stay healthy so you can play some compelling and interesting baseball that actually matters in September. How about that?
That was the worst part there at the end. All right, who wants to start?
I'll let Pap start because if I go first, I might lose it.
Okay, well, for me, I go all the way. I'm sorry, guys. I go all the way back to, like, okay, who is this guy, right? Okay, so I know this guy, actually, and I knew him, or I knew of him before he was, Stephen A. Smith. I don't even understand why he needs an A. But Stephen Smith, and you got to understand where this guy come from, okay? So this guy, he speaks about things that he really and truly, when he makes these kind of comments, he really truly does not know what he's talking about, in all honesty, and that's why he makes such asinine comments, because he truly doesn't know. And so when I was in Philly, okay, and Kratz, I think this was probably after you got there. When I was in the Philadelphia clubhouse, we had a traveling secretary, Frank the Tank. You remember Frank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got this conversation with him about Stephen A. Smith one day. And I said, well, how come he never comes in the clubhouse anymore? And he says to me, oh, no, we had to kick him out of the clubhouse. I said, oh, really? I said, y'all kicked him out of the clubhouse. I said, well, why did y'all kick him out of the clubhouse? And he proceeds to tell me that he was doing all kind of shady shit, like going through the manager's office, and when he wasn't in there, going through the training room, pulling out reports, and all kind of places he shouldn't have been. So for me, I've always looked at this guy like a complete joke, and really it's just real shady guy. Like, when you get kicked out of a major league clubhouse, that means that you should never be able to be a journalist ever again. Well, I don't really call him a journalist. I call him more of an analyst, because if you're an analyst, you know what you study, right? So I refer to him more as an analyst than a journalist, because at that point in time, he should have never, ever, ever been allowed to even cover anyone, okay? Not alone in baseball. And since that day, I truly do believe that Major League Baseball has kicked him out, and therefore he has all this negative shit to say about Major League Baseball, because I don't really, truly, honestly think that he's allowed in Major League Baseball clubhouses. I don't know if the Phillies reported this or what they did with it, but you're talking about someone too. I mean, this guy is more narcissistic than Donald Trump. I mean, you're talking about one of the most narcissistic people you could come across. And the fact that he uses his middle name as which probably stands for asshole, is such a joke to me. And he doesn't really even truly know the game of baseball. So therefore, his lack of intellect and the way he approaches what he says is just for spite, or just to piss off a player, or to get thumbs up or followers or whatever. I don't know his motive, but when you look at the whole spectrum, you have the black people, the white people, the Japanese, and every other culture that really can't stand him. I mean, You go to the black culture of him using the N-word with Kobe Bryant back in the day, and Ohtani saying that he needed an interpreter. I think this was a couple years ago that he'll never be. It's bad for the game because he needs an interpreter. Well, like, don't you think he's trying to learn English? So to me, when the black community doesn't accept you, the white community doesn't accept you, or any other foreign players accept you, then what are you doing in this game, man? Like, what are you doing in the game and sports? And honestly and truthfully, man, I challenge ESPN to do something about it. I challenge ESPN to either fire him or cut his pay or do something about it, because honestly, nobody wants to listen to his shit, because everybody knows that it's just for likes. It's just for followers. He really doesn't actually know what he's saying. So I don't really take it as anything, to be honest with you. I just take it that this is just another idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about.
Pat, what was Steven's sport mainly? What sport does he follow?
I think he follows basketball and mainly, and I know he followed the 76ers, and I want to say he got kicked out of the 76ers locker room as well.
Okay, so he follows basketball. What do we always hear about in basketball? What's the big load management, right? Like, oh, I can't play 2 nights in a row, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. Like, basketball, so I live in Orlando. The Magic are playing the Cavaliers right now. They played Tuesday. Now they don't play till Friday. So they get 2 days off to heal up. Like, the NBA Finals take a month to play 5 games. It's like, game on Saturday, oh, we'll play Friday, then we'll play the next Thursday, then we'll play Saturday. It's like, holy cow. So, like, for him to – that's my problem. For him to say a guy like Mike Trout that tries to play every day, or any baseball player that is a position player that and listen, injuries suck, okay? We know that. But any person that knows – a guy like Marcus Semien plays 162 games, every game he played last year, plus playoffs, the whole deal, right? Like, Michael Jordan used to play 82 games a day. That's why every 82 games a year, like, every game, he's like, I'm out there. I don't care, right? So for, like, certain players to go, oh, well, I can't play back-to-back, and, oh, I played 2 in a row. I need 2 days off. Like, basically, you don't hear baseball players do that very often. I don't know that I've ever played with a guy that's like, man, I played 2 games in a row. I don't want to play the 3rd game in a row, right? Guys want to go out there and play. So, again, it just shows his lack of knowledge on what he's talking about. He's just trying to get clicks, just like the guy sitting next to him, right? The guy we showed on the clip that's sitting next to him, he says stuff. He promised to quit. He didn't quit. He's still out there, right? Why? Because he got a bunch of quit. Oh, that wasn't what I meant. I meant whatever, dude. Like you said, quit, fucking quit, okay? Right? And then Stephen A., like, you don't know baseball. Just don't talk about it. Like, just don't try to be cool. It's just say, hey, it sucks for the game. It sucks that Mike Trout's hurt. He was off to a great start, but you don't need to go on a diatribe about, oh, well, I don't understand. Baseball players are soft. Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Yeah,
Try to
AJ,
hit a baseball one time. He's got no chance.
Yeah, AJ, to me, it's the hypocritical part of it, right? It's the hypocrite. To me, I look at him in 3 things. I look at him as a racist. I look at him as a xenophobic. I look at him as a fake person. Like, I'm saying stuff just to simply be popular or get views. And you know, that's not what the game needs. We don't need this. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to tune into the media. I get it. But at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for shit you say. And unless ESPN holds him accountable for the stupid shit that he says, guess what? He's going to keep doing it. So I blame ESPN. And you know what? I may never work for ESPN, or ESPN may never work for me, or I may never even like them. I don't give a shit. I blame them, and I blame the people that hire him, because we're living in a world today where, I mean, you got college campuses going to shit in a handbasket, and there's made bigger things in the world than this. But for him to do this, man, it just really shows his ignorance. And this guy really is dumb, y'all. I'm just telling you, man. Any journalist or, analyst that comes through the clubhouse and tries to, like, be shady and sneaky, why in the fuck would you even let that guy, like, be anywhere near you? And, you know, to me, we just don't have any room for this. So I think I've said my piece, but yeah.
I think basically what you're saying is he doesn't know what he's doing. So to me, I put a lot on Mad Dog too. He didn't stand up for baseball. Like that's his employer is Major League Baseball, and he didn't stand up for baseball. And if either one of them had actually seen the interview, was it a week ago? Was it a week ago Friday, or was it 2 weeks ago Friday when we had actual Mike Trout on our show, and he talked about how much more he's doing to stay on the field, how much more it's changed since he was 23 years old, and you're just rolling out there like Papelbon playing in the minor leagues. Like, he's changed. He's done all this stuff. So for him to attack him and say something like, oh, man, what is he doing? What is he doing? What do you mean, what is he doing? He's doing everything he can. Actually, do some research into what this guy does to try to stay on the field. And it was
but Kratz, that's the thing. That he doesn't do research, man. This dude does not do research, okay? This dude does not know what he's talking about. He just says the most asinine shit that he could think of because he thinks that, that's going to get likes and people want to watch me. Well, like I said earlier, man, and you hit on a great point, man. Mad Dog, man, fuck him. I ain't got nothing for him anymore either, man. Like, he pissed me off, man. Like, I've never really liked that guy anyway. I think they should go in bed and sleep together.
Well, all right. I got two things here. Number one, they are showmen. They know what they're doing. Like people in those roles that are, the national talking heads, like it's not for an analysis. It is just, it's like a stand-up act. That's how most of it is. But it does entice a certain audience. Like there's some people that just, for some reason, enjoy that. I mean, Skip Bayless has been in this group for years. Everyone hates him. They can't stand listening to him. And I'm like, but it's not even talking about him. You can talk about someone. But if you're actually watching his show, you are supporting that person. So I'm like, it's that simple. If not one single person on the planet consumed that person's content, they would not have that job, I promise you. So that is part of the problem there with them. My other question just was, is there anything else we can learn about the clubhouse? Because, I mean, that's unique. I mean, we've all been in clubhouses a ton. I don't know if I've ever heard of someone getting kicked out of a clubhouse. Have you? Have you ever come across?
I mean, I've heard of
like a fight, I think, maybe.
I remember when we were in Chicago. No, maybe not.
It's pretty rare. I mean,
it's pretty rare. But, I mean, listen, there's certain things you don't do,
right? There's certain things. Like when you go into a major league clubhouse, right? There's a certain respect. There's a certain way you go about it. And there's a certain okay, hey, we're all working together here. I know you're our beat writer. I know you need the story. I know you have to ask the hard questions. I'm willing to answer the hard questions. But man, when you go cross the line of where now you're doing shady shit, and believe me, I don't want to say that I'm 100% right on this, but once the news got into baseball, what he was doing when he was covering the little bit of baseball he did back in the day, that's why he doesn't cover baseball anymore. I'm pretty sure because, all clubhouses talk. We all know that, right? Like the Major League Baseball family, if you're a shitty teammate, you can't hide it. If you're a shitty person, you can't hide it. And so I think that's the main reason why he got out of baseball and now very rarely speaks about it and knows nothing about it.
Boom. Well said. All right. So then here, let me get the second part of the Trout conversation. Ken Rosenthal on his show earlier, Pap, said that it does make it harder to trade Trout because he's gone down with the injury again. By the way, Mike Trout is not an injury-plagued player his whole career. I just also would like to make that pretty clear for anyone that's following him now in the last several years. Look at Mike Trout's statistics. Like we talked about Buxton before, he has not been able to stay on the field for the most part. He would be the first person to say that. Mike Trout played 157 2013, 157 14, 159, 159. Like there were plenty of full seasons here, okay? It's 160.
You're talking 150 plus. You're not even talking 130 or 140.
No. And then, yes, there was a next layer where in his mid-20s, there were times when it was, 2017, 114, 2018, 140, 2019, 134. This really started in 2021, when he played 36. Like this is the last few years when, now he's almost 33, I think. Like how many times have we seen in our sport? A dude's been a stud since he's 19 years old in the big leagues. Andrew Jones gets punished for this for the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, he fell off. I'm like, he started in the bigs when he was 19 and he was a superstar. He played well for 10 years. The player has to be, what? What's the line? 15 years? Like, I think the expectations were high, but he went through some injuries. So anyway, fast forward, Ken was saying it'll be tougher to trade him because if he does ever want to go elsewhere, right, it's going to be a difficult trade to pull off because he does have a big contract. The Angels are not going to eat much of a contract. That's not their style. So do you think that Mike Trout will play playoff baseball in the next few years? Because it's really on the Angels here.
Yeah, and that's, Scott, you bring up a lot of great points, man. For me, I'll tell you one thing. Once you hit your 30s, every day you show up to the ballpark, something is hurting, especially with those two guys catching every day, And so for him to be able to still be putting up 140 games is amazing to me. And secondly, as far as him being able to get into playoff baseball, you're right. It is going to be on the Angels. But, all it takes is him to go out and have a good month right before the trade deadline. If he goes out and has a good month and the knee's feeling fine, then I think there is a possibility. I really, truly do.
Mm-hmm. Kratz, how you feeling body-wise?
Tremendous. Pap, I never played except for when you were pitching.
Incredible.
That's because you were a better defensive catcher than Chooch was.
Yeah, but Chooch could rake, and the only person I raked off of was you. So,
well, and that is very true because I will say this, Kratz. I do, all of my former teammates that I enjoyed playing with, when I faced them down the road. And I know that, it's been a long, tough, grinding road for them. Like, I try to help them out a little bit,
Thank you.
I try to groove them a few, and, I said to myself, I'm going to groove him 2. After 2, that's all he gets. Sure enough.
I'm not sure if I said this before, but I got on first base, and Pap turned around. It was an extra inning game, and Pap turned around to first baseman. He goes, you don't got to hold him on. He ain't going anywhere.
That's good. All right, so let's finish with this, then we'll get to locks. Do we all owe the Red Sox front office and coaching staff an apology, or way too soon? Like, because you're more plugged in. What are we seeing? Yes, pitching looks great. So what do you think? Does this have lasting power?
You know what they say? They say after a month, right? They say after the month of a month in the show, right, is a good kind of enough sample size. To me, I need more, man. I'm not, obviously I want them to win, and I enjoy, being on the Nesson team, and I want to follow them. But in order for them to sustain this, they cannot afford not one more injury, which scares me, okay? And right now you have a guy in Alex Cora who – it's like playing chess without your queen, man. Like, every day he goes to the ballpark, he doesn't have a Trevor Story, or Devers has a shoulder injury here lately, and you're having to mix and match pieces every single day, and so that becomes very, very hard through 162. So I'm gonna say no. Nobody owes the Red Sox an apology right now. By the end of this month, maybe. Yeah, I could say that if they keep sustaining what they are. I mean, shoot, they're right in the hunt of it right now in the first month in the AL East. The Yankees have fell off a little bit here lately, but man, there sure is some power in the AL East this year, and I hope that they can sustain it. Honestly, I hope, but too early, my friend, too early.
Yep, agreed. Too early. All right, so let's try and win the people some money right now. Let's go over locks. I tailed AJ yesterday. That was a mistake.
You're a sucker.
Wait,
that's
what?
all. You're a sucker.
What?
Yeah,
What?
You're a sucker.
Did you just say? What did you just say?
Pat, get ready, baby, because you're about to become a sucker today.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait, you followed AJ's bets?
I don't, you know why? Law of averages. I was like, he has been so cold. I'm like, and he got his pick from someone else. And I was looking at that game, and I whatever, no one's going to believe me, but I was looking at the money line. It was too steep. And I'm like, all right, screw it. I'll go run line with them. And they won by 1 run. Of course they did.
Oh, man.
Let's fast forward.
I don't know if you saw that last screen right there, Scott. I don't know if you saw that last screen, but AJ's not the guy to follow.
He is not. He is down a lot.
Yeah,
the rest of us are up.
Hey, it's like, picking on the White Sox, man. It's like, Scott, here's the thing. Like, if you're in high school and you go to, like, a lunch table in the lunchroom and you sit down and you get punched in the face and your lunch money taken from you, right? Are you going to go sit in the same spot the next day?
I'll probably be suspended because I beat the,
But you know what my point is.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. To answer your question, I'm not going back to that lunch table for a while, but that lunch table is about to get interesting.
It's about to get real
first off, Kratz, you do your pick, I'll do mine, then we'll save the good stuff. So go ahead.
We don't have a lot of games to choose from. So I'm going to hot hand.
We got 1 game.
That's what I mean. We don't have a lot. So I wanted Jordan for hit RBIs. It was like plus 110. I don't know, but I chickened out. I went with Stephen Kwan, who's hitting 360 on the year. He's hitting over 300 in his career against the Astros, and he's smashing the baseball in those last, I think, like 5 games. He's crushing it right now. So I'm taking Stephen Kwan over 1.5 bases plus 100.
There you go. I faded Arrighetti last start, and they did lose, but he punched out 7 3 2/3. Like he's developing in the majors, but I'm starting to see it. So I just think the Astros get the win, get back on the winning side, and the Guardians have played 4 straight games in extras. Astros beat up lefties. Guardians, I think, aren't as good against righties. When I was looking through the stats and the on-base percentage, they were kind of lower ranked on that front. So I'll get the Astros a dub. I think their bullpen's going to start improving too. Okay, Pap, you go with your pick. AJ's going to clean up here.
Yeah, I'm going with the over today. Pretty simple bet. Day game, balls be flying. That's my simple.
Night game.
Night game.
Night game.
I thought it was a day game. I thought it was a 3:00 game today.
Houston, Cleveland's the one night game.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, who's the sucker now?
Sucker! Now there's 2 suckers on the screen.
Who's the sucker now?
I gotta stay with it, man. I can't crawfish. I can't crawfish backwards, man. No. I gotta stay with my pick.
All right, so what's your pick? What's your pick? For how much?
I'm going with the over in tonight's game at like 9. I think the over under's 9.
Yeah,
how much?
Well, minus 105. What do you like?
200.
210 to win 200?
210 to win 200, correct.
Okay.
Well, guess who is tailing that bitch? So, Pap, you a sucker now. I'm taking the exact same thing. All right?
Dude.
I'm taking that pick right now. I had already said it, and then I'm like, what's Pap's pick? Because I'm taking it because he picks on the White Sox every damn day. So I'm taking that one. And you know what? I'm putting down $525 to win 500.
He laughed at him.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
So now you want to change your pick there, Crawfish Daddy?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to I don't want to change my pick, because I said I can't crawfish backwards, man. I can't. But what I will do is I'm probably going to go and maybe hedge a little bit just because, you jumped on there with me. So.
Hedge with the under and just take the losses. All right, Pap. Well, this was an all-timer. Good to see you, dude. We'll catch you again later this week on your pick.
Cool deal, man. Hey, I got you guys some of these shirts coming. Halcomania, man. I don't know if you've seen this guy pitch yet, though. Dealing this year. He's going to be a big case whether they're pretenders or not.
Hell yeah, he's in the Cy Young race right now.
Hair also going
He does. Yeah, send him through. We'll wear him on the show. I love it. All
right, boys. Y'all be good. Good talking to you.
You too. Good talking to you, Pat. Appreciate you. And for the BetMGM crowd, if you don't have the app, sign up and deposit at least $10 into your new account. Place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. And if that happens, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's slap. We like making calculated predictions on this show. I feel like this show is going to get some attention.
Maybe just a little bit.
A little bit. It's going to get some attention. Kratz, would you want to tell that?
What's that? That's going to get some attention?
Yeah. A little bit.
You can't, like, Pap's like a lion. Like, if you just bring a lion into a restaurant and you just let it walk around, you know what? It's probably not going to eat somebody, but you know what? You're just not sure. Like, you want to watch it.
Yeah. And at least when you walk out of the restaurant, like, you're going to be like, that restaurant got a little messed up. There was a lot of talking. Some people were laughing. Some people were crying. Some people
were crying.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's like watching the Hangover movie. Kratz Hats, what do you got?
I mean, take a guess.
I mean, it's Iron Pigs. It's Iron Pigs every time.
It's not Iron Pigs. It's the New Hampshire Fisher Cats.
That is offensive to Kratz Hats.
Why? Because it's Iron Pigs 6 out of 7
What about the Columbus Clippers? They got a lot of love.
It's probably 60% Iron Pigs and Rail Riders. You're right. Because they have like 9 different hats. But this is the Gatos de Feroces, the fierce cats of New Hampshire Fisher Cats. It's the Copa Diversión series. They sent it to me, and it's freaking sick.
It's cool, and it looks almost like a Transformer.
Should be the Pirates.
Should be the Pirates?
It's Pirates colors.
I don't know what the New Hampshire colors are, but either way, it's an alternate.
New Hampshire colors are green and black.
Exactly, so that should be a Pirates affiliate.
I love this thing right here. I think it's awesome.
The logo on the back, yeah.
The colors with it. I like the colors.
I agree. That's an A for me. Here's my slap hands. These were the fans I was talking about earlier. You guys didn't see these guys?
Mm-mm.
Want to read it? Since I'm blind.
2 guys, one of them says left work early, told the boss we weren't feeling well, and the other guy says we feel much better now. Looks like they were at the Tigers game watching Skubal pitch.
Did their boss see this?
I mean, have you ever seen Ferris Bueller?
I did. Talked about it at the top of the show because these guys went a little bit baseball viral, so boss might have seen them, but it's hilarious.
So my slap is congratulations to the Colorado Rockies, 31 games in a row trailing. It's amazing. That's unbelievable. They've trailed every game this year.
That's a record today, right? They tied it yesterday.
It's been a
record.
But it just keeps growing.
Oh, I thought yesterday is when they tied it.
No, I think it was 28.
28 with
and they were up 5-0 in the 9th the other night and still blew it.
Mm-hmm.
And that game, it was five runs in the first, 5 runs in the 9th. They showed the scoreboard. It was bookended 5s and only could happen to the Rockies. Start fading them, Jones. Fade them.
Yeah, actually, we haven't done enough of that, probably.
Well, when they're playing the Marlins,
that's been a great series, too. I mean, if we forget about series, two pillow fight teams, they're just like hitting each other with the pillows, and they're like, stop. No, you stop. Okay, I'll win. No.
But they have like
except
equal
the Marlins
strength.
keep winning.
Yeah, and they have like somewhat equal strength in the pillow fight, so then it's at least good to bet on. It's a little entertaining. Fair Territory is up there if you want to check it out from earlier. Up next, don't touch anything if you're watching live right now on YouTube. Dodgers Territory.
Mason Miller tomorrow.
Mason Miller, A's stud closer, throws 1 billion miles per hour on FT on Friday. See you then.